I wasn't muted.
Yeah, we could
I
do that
was
one,
muted, I'm
Zaborik.
sorry.
We could totally do that one.
I was fucking so mad.
Alright, I remember this should be like super clean imposter game. Let's see how it goes. So something like, I don't know. You don't always want to do like set play kills at the start of rounds every single one of your imposter games. Just like sort of becomes predictable. But what I'm trying to say is, if every single one of your imposter games you walk to like the vent between medbay and admin and then kill someone near there with the lights out, at some point the group is going to catch on, right? So I usually mix it up, like maybe a third to a half of my games I will go for some sort of kill that I understand and I understand why it's really good. And then the rest of the time I'll try to improvise something or just chill out with town and try to build an alibi. In this game, I saw Niall walk to this maze, and that maze is actually a really good place to kill people. It, like, you might be surprised by how long this body can go undiscovered. It's very unlikely that this body gets discovered by someone who goes to vitals and admin panel and then chooses to look for it. The way that this body gets discovered is if somebody walks from oxygen to somewhere else, basically. And otherwise it doesn't really get discovered. Walks from like storage to oxygen, maybe. Or maybe on the tail end of a lights emergency. So it's probably going to get discovered after the lights emergency, actually. But yeah, this body doesn't get discovered very often. And it's also by an event that lets me relocate, which is really nice. I think lights haven't been called as I make the kill, for what it's worth. And then I decided to call lights so that I could alibi myself. Walk in, Honk is there, Scodge is there, go to cameras. I can also, like... Note that the people who fixed lights walked to oxygen through the hallway that goes straight to oxygen, so they didn't walk outside. So even those people didn't find the body. It's like, who's gonna find that body? Who's gonna path in a way that discovers that anytime soon? I'm trying to think. If somebody else has that exact task, they will go there. If someone's like doing storage and then they eventually decide to go to O2 afterwards, they would find it, maybe, unless they walked by weapons. It's just not an area of the map that gets walked to very often. O2 to medbay could go that way. Yeah, I think that's true. All right. So, I'm standing on cameras. I'm not actually using cameras. I noticed Soppin there. I'm not sure Soppin noticed me. I noticed Honk here. Just looking around, making sure Honk isn't killing anyone. Oops, Honk is dead. I think that's a fairly clean kill. That one's a little bit iffy. I don't know that Soppin actually saw me. The other person who's been on the left side of the map is... Fuck, I forgot. Draskell? Scodge. So Scodge might know, but I'm telling the truth to Scodge when I say that you and Honk went to O2 and I didn't go that way. You're the last person that I saw with Honk. So like, I get to say that and it's not even a lie. Because they walked down to O2 together and then Scodge like abandoned Honk or something. Someone's on cameras there. My lie here is that I'm going to have done like communications and weapons or whatever. I'm going back to lights and Scodge discovers the body. So I bet that Scodge like walked down through O2, left Honk there, and went to communications or weapons and then walked up to lights from that direction. Guess that's how the body got found. Interesting. Let's check out this meeting. So I've gotten 2 kills. Dumdog hasn't killed yet, which is fine. It's not like necessary that your other imposter is getting kills early in the game. If they aren't getting kills though, hopefully they are building alibi and establishing that they cannot possibly have made the kills that got made. Hopefully, right? There's a really interesting dynamic in this meeting where both of my kills were quite quick. And so it looks a lot like people who were together can't be the imposter. And also the round was fast enough that like a lot of people just did their dropship tasks and then walked to medbay at the start of the round and basically haven't done anything else. So in this meeting, we're going to hear a lot of people saying, oh, it can't be me, can't be me, can't be me. We're going to hear me and Skadj saying, we're on the left side of the map with Honk. That's a little bit curious. We may have some corroborating story from Soppin a little bit because Soppin came into Electric. But mostly the content of this meeting, based on what happened in the round, is going to be like 5 people saying we couldn't have done this. And then there are going to be 3 people left who are arguing that it wasn't them, and I'm going to be one of them. And we don't really have that much evidence. Like, this is one of the things that happens when 5 people go to medbay at the start of the round, is there isn't that much information for town to go off.
Niall's dead between communications and O2.
Anyone know where Honk's general area is?
The last person I saw with Honk was Jorbs.
Where's that?
Up in, like, electrics.
Yeah, we fixed lights. Okay. That's a lie, Skadj. But that was like very efficient communication. It didn't take long to myself, Skadj, and Honk were at lights.
I am hard confirming me and Draskell in.
Hyde was in.
Okay, so we've already got hard clears, teal and yellow. So people have actually gone to medbay and stood on the scanner together and scanned and found out that they are town. So, but honestly, like spending those 20 seconds standing on the scanner together didn't give that much more value than just being in medbay in this round because there were so many kills. So that isn't even that big a deal. Sid, thanks for the 3 months. I'm going to show to you too. Calling players by color instead of name. Yeah, like for analysis, I prefer to do that, I think. There might be moments when I mention that someone has a tendency that I'm trying to exploit, but for the most part, this is more talking on a grander scale where I want people to be able to apply the sorts of things I'm talking about to their own games where they're going to be different players, right? So I'm generally gonna not be talking too much about specific player tendencies or whatever.
Specimen as well.
Yeah, I prefer no medbay clears.
That whole round?
Pretty much the entire round,
okay.
almost.
Just wanted to make sure because it was a long round.
I was completely alone almost the entire round. Someone peeked me in outside of electric.
Did Dumdog say it was a long round? That's interesting. Red says it was a long round to cast, like, sort of muddy hard clears. So I don't think that actually was that long around, but Dumdog is saying that it was, I think it was like a medium length round. But I think one of the reasons that he's saying that is to make sure that people in medbay don't all think that every single one of them is clear.
But I didn't catch who it was because it was doing...
I think you came into the panel after lights, right, in electric?
Yeah, like I saw...
And
I saw
Honk and
someone
Scotch had already left at that point.
Who was in that?
Okay, so that's really good. I got that information from Soppin that I needed to get. So we're at like 70 seconds. White says he came into lights after they were fixed. I corroborate and say orange and purple already left. So for everybody else in the meeting who wasn't there, the story I just told, which is true for what it's worth, is that Honk and Skadj left from electric And me and Sapa were in electric together afterwards, and we don't know where Skadge and Honk went, but Honk is dead now. I know where Honk went. That part's the lie. But that's what I've communicated there, and that's why it's important to like note that Sapa was in electric and bring that up in the meeting.
That chunk of people in Medbay. It was Tides, Coop, who else?
Draskell,
Me and Draskell,
And
yeah.
Arca.
Apollo.
Okay, so 60 seconds. This is like it's incredible. Like looking back at the last game, it took 30 seconds for Honk to recount her entire day, right? I need to sneeze. Hello? Okay, got there eventually. It took 30 seconds for Honk to give her entire day alibi in the last game. It took 10 seconds for us to talk about where 7 people were in this meeting. So it's like a pretty ridiculous example of how efficient communication can be time-wise versus how inefficient it can be time-wise, depending on which words you choose to say to communicate the information you're communicating.
Yeah, it was the 5 of us.
Wait,
But
who's the fifth?
Arca, right?
Coop is lime and Arca is
Arca.
teal
so
for what it's
pink,
worth.
white, orange are the big suspects here.
I'm down to vote Jorbs.
So tied successfully. These second suspects are pink, white, orange. Teal is down to vote me. This is, I believe, a like reputation read. I'm pretty sure. Arca just doesn't want to lose to me. I don't think the evidence that has been presented is strongly saying that I am the one who's making these kills. Here's how I would analyze it, actually. I have Skadge reporting a body, which I think makes me trust Skadge a little bit more. And that's unreasonable, but I think people aren't very good at self-reporting in this group. Depending on how your group works, how much self-reporting happens, you may have different opinions on that. But like, this isn't a group where people are like, oh, the person who reported this body is very suspicious because they're standing on a body, which is one of the prerequisites for having killed a body is standing on it. So, you know, but I think Skadge is a little bit less suspect. Sopin and I are placing ourselves in lights after Skadge left, so that makes us a little bit less suspect. So I personally would be left with a very hard time picking who was the most suspect between the 3 of us. And I don't think we have much other information going on.
I'm sick of his shit.
All I also know is like Tides was the last one off the ship, but that's like.
I wanted to make sure Draskell's and Arca's clear was the whole round because like I said, it was a very long round. It could have easily been 2 solos.
Scott, what'd you do?
I was on.
I just passed Dumb Dog running
No, I don't think
from
Draskell would count. I think
like communications area.
I can confirm that. I just passed Jorbs at the end of that round.
Okay, so another thing I just did is I threw Dumb Dog under the bus a little bit. So we're at 30 seconds now, right? Someone just said they were willing to vote for me. And I just placed Dumb Dog near the body which has been discovered. I don't think Dumb Dog's in any danger whatsoever of being ejected for this. There's just no way. There's no way that people can go from having that new information with 30 seconds left in the round to being certain that Dumb Dog made the kill. Dumb Dog was in medbay with them for the entire start of the round. They haven't seen Nile for the entire round, so they don't know if Nile died 10 seconds ago or a minute ago. There's just like no possible way. But throwing that information in there makes my story a little bit stronger. Because Dumb Dog is saying, yeah, I saw Jorbs, and Dumb Dog's not conveying it as suspicious. Like, Dumb Dog's saying, yeah, I saw Jorbs, and it wasn't in, like, a suspicious way. It was okay. And I'm saying, Dumb Dog looked a little bit suspicious running around there. And the goal here is to like strengthen my story a little bit, make me look a little bit less suspect, make Dumdog look a little bit more suspect, and Scotch and Soppen are out on their own still a little bit. So imposter suspicion transfer is what I'm gonna call that. I don't think that's super easy to read for people who are in the meeting. Sometimes imposters do this very flagrantly, and it just becomes obvious who the two imposters are. But I think that one was not very egregious. I think that one's pretty hard to tell it's happening unless you can see that both of our names are red.
I did.
I was coming out of admin.
I did the download in lights. I actually opened both doors that were in lights because I knew that the sabotage was gonna happen because people are fucks. And I started my download. That's when Honk and Jorbs went in and fixed lights. I left them there when I went to O2 to go do, I forget what I did in O2, I think it was trash, then I did an uploading communication.
Yeah. Scotch is actually lying here. I assume he's misremembering. He did not leave me and Honk in lights, though. He walked down to O2 with Honk, so... Orange pushes story of leaving me in purple and lights.
I want to vote on
Honk
A, but
was
it
already
sounds like
gone.
it's Soppen, Scotch, and
I'm voting
Jorbs.
white.
No,
I'm
no,
voting white.
I don't want to vote
Soppen,
because we have three
Soppen.
sus. We have three sus. I'm skipping. I'm skipping.
Jorbs.
Arca. I just want to say, I have no fucking idea how that just happened. These votes. Look at my reaction. Look at my face. Scotch just voted for Soppen. Like, someone just mind-fucked Scotch so hard that Scotch spent most of the meeting pointing out that he left me with Honk and then voted for Soppen at the end of it. I'm not sure what just happened. So I can play this meeting differently. I can push on one of the other people who was there and try to get them dead. And maybe I should have. But I did not expect the voting at the end of this meeting to look like what it looks like at all. So Tides is usually really good at picking up on speech patterns and stuff like that. So the fact that Tides is not voting for me after I spent that long in the round as imposter talking about what I did and was near both bodies makes me happy.
No, this is fine. I wanted to skip here.
Why did so many say they voted Jorbs and they voted me?
Apollo's correct that I am one of the suspicious people there, for sure. I made 2 kills that round. I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't one of the people who might be suspicious on that one. Alright, so popping into lights, making sure that everyone's healthy, going to cameras, not actually using cameras, going down to O2, doing tasks in O2, not doing tasks in O2. There's nobody in O2, so it's not really worth it to fake tasks. There may be someone on cameras, so we're doing that. For me to be here. Soppen has seen that we did tasks in O2. Cool. So Soppen's a bit stronger of an alibi for day 1 for us now. Maybe Soppen and I can sort of throw... Okay, there are actually... Hold on. There are 2 things that happen there, actually. One, the Soppen saw me doing tasks in O2 and run away and not kill him. 2, I get to say in a meeting, yeah, I saw Soppen alone in O2 and ran away because I'm terrified of him. So I think both of those things are of value. Went and fixed some lights again. Again, I didn't like rush them to get them down 10 seconds before everyone else came, but like Tides was coming in, so just go ahead and clear them. And we're wandering around. This is gonna end with me. Okay, this is another self-report moment. So this is a funny one. So there's a body here, right? We can assume that Dumdog has killed 1 person, probably not 2 in a round of that length. I don't think I look particularly suspicious here. I was seen by Soppen in O2. I was the one who fixed lights. I get to say I fixed lights alone because Tides is dead. And, and now I'm just believably walking into the admin building and finding a body. So I might be the person who gets ejected in this meeting, but I think it's a lot less likely that I get ejected by calling the meeting than it is by running away from these bodies and then having someone be like, hey, Jorbs, why did you run away from the admin building when there were 2 bodies in it? It's very easy for someone to be coming down from medbay toward this room right now. It's very easy for someone to be coming toward this room from weapons or oxygen right now. Checking in on the vitals during the middle of a round after a minute or so have passed is very normal to make sure that you don't die to imposters going on killing sprees. You just saw that Tides did it, right? So Tides literally just did it as I stood here. I could have reported the body straight away, but I don't think anyone's on cameras right now, right? I'm pretty sure nobody's on cameras right now based on what I've seen, unless it's Soppin. And I had my kill up. So when I found this body, I was like, okay, there's a body here. Probably the best thing to do is try to use my kill cooldown and then report the body and pretend that the other kill happened somewhere else and I don't know anything about it, is basically my idea. Calling emergency and saying you saw 2 dead isn't better here? No, I don't think so. I think it looks really suspicious to call emergency here over reporting a body. And I don't think that reporting the body in admin is going to implicate Dumb Dog. I think that would be... I mean, maybe it will, but if Dumb Dog killed here, it was with an intention to get away from the area in a way that doesn't implicate himself, because it's a high traffic area in the middle of the map. So reporting the body here is more likely to implicate like everyone at the same time. So that's why we're hitting the report button. And the plan is to report yellow, because yellow is the older body and the body that is more likely to make people confused. But when I hit the report button here, it reports blue. You can see it for a second there at the start of the meeting. I do not understand why. Yeah, I checked the camera light on the way in and it was off. Why does that report blue? I don't understand. But anyway, I had to like, that made it worse by a lot. Because if it had reported yellow, I get to say Tides is dead somewhere. I saw Tides on the left side of the map with Soppin. When I report blue, I have people say, oh, I saw Tides 3 seconds ago. And I have people who know exactly where Tides was when he died and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's not actually that big a deal. Because if they saw Tides 3 seconds ago, they would have seen that he was going this way anyway. It's the wrong person to report. And we're at 6. So because we're at 6, I got 2 kills round 1, and we've gotten 1 kill each. We're now in the do or die voting round. There's a really interesting thing with this where when you're at 6, there are 6 people to choose between, and everyone on town has to get their vote right, or else the imposters can just vote for whatever the town who got it wrong voted for and tie the vote. And then the imposters just have to double kill and they win. And lights are not off right now, so we do get to call whatever emergency we want and double kill and win. So it's actually probably more favorable for us to be going into this voting round with 6 alive than 5 alive. So it's actually probably good that Dumb Dog didn't get another kill. Because if Dumb Dog like killed Soppin before this meeting started, all of a sudden there's no way we're ejecting Soppin anymore. It's clear Soppin was town. And all of a sudden I look a lot more suspicious because Soppin isn't there anymore. So. Hello, Tides is dead by the vitals panel.
Apollo did just come from that area.
I did, but I didn't. I wasn't in vitals. I came from weapons side. I never went
Wait,
towards vitals.
wait.
Okay, so Teal immediately says red came from that direction. It's also like the body was about to get reported by Tides anyway, right? So it's not like if Dumdog just got seen leaving admin, me killing Tides and then reporting is going to make it even more likely that Dumdog gets killed.
But you're telling me that you went through admin and you didn't even check vitals?
No, I did
in
not
that
this
long
round.
around?
No.
What was your pathing there, Dumdog?
I went to.
I'm wondering if I have to throw Dumdog under the bus here, because it sounds like Arca is locked on. So, 90 seconds. Consideration of bus throw of red. I also think it looks incredibly suspicious for me as a player not to ask Dumdog for more explanation after Arca's accusation here. So
To the left side, O2, and then I came back. I went into weapons. There was like 3 or 4 people there. I know Tides was there. I know Coop was there. I think I passed Soppin and O2 early on as well. And then I went back into admin into specimen where Arca was coming out.
yeah, I saw Soppin and O2. I ran the hell away and went and fixed lights. Okay, so we sort of corroborated that fairly well. Dumdog saw Soppin and O2. I saw Soppin and O2 as well. So I'm like, yeah, Dumdog did actually come from the left side. Dumdog saying that basically he came from the left side, went down to specimen, and did not go up to admin along the way. Somewhat believable? No longer thinking that we need to bust through, maybe.
Arca, what'd you do?
On the specimen, I fucked up the fucking thing because I was almost finished the last one, and then it like glitched. I don't know what happened.
The
but
voting
it, like,
time
showed me
is
the
covered
thing,
by my
and
head,
I was
huh?
like, go ahead and do it, and then it fucked
Feels
up.
bad.
Anyway, I was coming
Arca's
back.
clear from Draskell. Arca's
Yeah,
clear from
I was coming
Draskell.
back through specimen, and I passed Apollo.
Yeah,
probably
I know
like
it looks bad for
2
me there,
seconds
but
ago.
Okay, so Arca is burning meeting time for us, which we appreciate, but Arca's point is that Dumdog is a killer, which is not good. So we want to try to detract from that point here while maybe burning some more meeting time. And with 50 seconds left, we sort of have to make an accusation on someone else here, because we have to make a vote in this meeting. We're talking a lot about Dumdog. Arca is probably voting for Dumdog every time. But we may be able to make Coop vote for Soppin or Skadj vote for Soppin. We may be able to make Soppin vote for Skadj based on round 1. There are lots of things we can still do. I actually feel like it might be bad for us as imposters to be letting meeting time burn like this. We might need to like cut off that conversation and talk about the other people who are suspicious a little bit more. But we want to talk about them with enough time to cast suspicion on them, but not enough time for them to fully give a sensible alibi. And also there are 2 imposters in the round. So hard to tell who it is, but whoever they aren't necessarily going to back up alibis, or they may fabricate alibis for each other and stuff like that, right?
I didn't go into admin to vitals.
Skadj?
I don't even remember, honestly. I went to lights. Okay, so here's what I did. I went to lights, then I went to go do my office scan. I think Apollo was with me at the time. Then I went to medbay. That's where I'm at right now.
Soppin, who vote? You said at the end of that round someone voted for you that didn't say they were going to. Do you remember who?
I think that's such a good question. So Dumdog's trying to play to Soppin here, which is one of the things we can do. Soppin knows that Soppin is town. Soppin also knows that someone said they were going to vote for someone else and then actually voted for Soppin. And Dumdog's giving Soppin the opportunity to incriminate Skadj here, if Soppin would like and remembers that that happened and is suspicious of Skadj.
Because that's
no,
actually kind of sus.
2 people said I'm voting Jorbs, and I had 3 votes. I was the only one who voted.
Are you
for
trusting
Jorbs because
Soppin now,
I
Dumdog?
voted for Jorbs too.
No,
There's 3 votes.
I have no alibi for the first round.
I think it's Skadj.
I want to know
So
who
I
changed
vote
their
for-
vote.
Okay, so... and now... chaos. Chaos happens.
Pretty
Oh,
sure
I
Scotch
need to
said he was
pause.
voting
Yeah, I
for
think it's
Scotch.
Scotch.
I'm
I think
voting
it's
Scotch.
Scotch. So Scotch said he went to back to admin to do his scan.
ATC.
Why wouldn't you
Yeah,
do that
because
first?
lights were alright.
So I don't know exactly what happened in those 15 seconds, right? Hard to say. Hard to say. But what I read was myself, Scudge, and Soppin were curious from day one. Dumdog seemed like suddenly he was trusting Soppin. Everybody else saw that too. At which point, if it's not me, it's Scodge. So I said, I guess it must be Scodge then. And everybody else except Scodge agreed. And we won. GG.
I think we'll lose though.
Literally, someone could have confirmed I was there, but, you know, fuck that, I guess.
Yeah, and we burned enough time for Scodge to not be able to get the good alibi off, so. Arca managed to call out both imposters that game. Yeah. Although Arca did not vote for either imposter, so I don't know that that really counts for much.
Yeah, I know. You guys got played. How do you guys think Apollo doesn't go through admin and check
That Arca was actually.
Alright, so. If Arca is very confident on that Dumdog read, the thing that Arca has to do is just say, like, no, there's no possible way you weren't running from that body. I am voting for you and I am town. And when Arca is hard cleared as town, if he places a vote on Dumdog, everybody else in town is fucked unless they follow, basically. Arca was hard cleared town in round 1 by Yellow. And Yellow's dead, so we know that Yellow was town as well, so that's an impervious hard clear. We know Arc is town in this lobby. If you're at 6 and one of the town votes wrong, then you lose. So when you see Arca voting for Dumdog, if that's wrong, you lost already, so you have to just believe it's right and go with it. So if Arca wants to win that game, is very confident that Dumdog's story doesn't make sense, the play is just to vote for Dumdog, say he's voting for Dumdog, and say everybody else has to too. Alright. Can we analyze the game where I stood near Scodge's body? I'm trying to analyze games which are interesting instead of funny right now. Although there were some very good funny games for sure. One that kind of worked bad if they just think you are imposter. Well, they can't think that Arca is imposter. But what happens if you throw a vote on someone and people aren't sure you're town is that now the game becomes about voting for that person or for you. And that is their decision. Because either you are imposter and they have to vote for you, or you're town and they have to vote with you. So something you can do in a situation where there are 2 imposters and it's like you're the less suspicious imposter and there's conversation between the more suspicious imposter and one of the more suspicious town, is as the less suspicious imposter, you can vote for the more suspicious town. And then you create a situation where people are either voting for you, who they think is less suspicious, or for the town, who they think is more suspicious, and they're probably going to fall in line. So you can sort of use your rep in that situation to help out your imposter who has very bad rep. The problem with doing that is it can just look like you're collaborating with the imposter. You have to be really careful about the social dynamic there. I've actually lost games as town where someone who was town but wasn't hard cleared town did that exact thing, and then I was like, huh, it really looks like you're collaborating with an imposter here, and ended up voting against them instead of with them. So you have to be careful about that.